Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and happy Money Monday. I hope you're having an amazing Monday, and to get the week started off, I figured that I would share with you guys a few tips that my husband and I have used to follow the Dave Ramsey system without attending a Financial Peace University class or even doing the at-home edition of the course. Let's go ahead and get right on into it. Okay guys, so this is a question that I've gotten fairly often throughout our financial journey and just as we've been sharing our progress with the Dave Ramsey system. So my husband and I have not taken Financial Peace University. When we first started the process, there were a couple of factors that prohibited us from attending a class or taking the course at home just by ourselves. And one was the fact that we literally did not have the extra money to pay for the course. And the second was the fact that we didn't have the same schedule. So at the time, my husband was working nights, I was working during the day, and then we had a ton of just youth things going on as well. So our schedule was very packed and it just did not accommodate us attending a class at one set time once a week for, 2.5 months, which I know for a lot of people that's something that is very, very easy and very doable. That would even be difficult for us to do today because we're out at least 3 nights a week right now as it is, and we both work during the day now. So those were the factors that we were coming up against as far as being able to attend the class or take the class or even have that time together to be able to take the class at home. It just was not going to work for us. So we decided to move forward with the Dave Ramsey system and following his principles without taking that course. And that was something that I was excited about and that we knew we wanted to do, but I was definitely concerned that we wouldn't have as much success or as much progress not having taken the course. Now, of course, fast forward nearly 2 years later, we have seen that we have had just as much progress, just as much success as anyone who had taken the course or who would have taken the course and things like that. And also, taking the course does not automatically equate to success in following his program, and vice versa. Not taking the course doesn't automatically equate to not having success with the program. The success with following Dave Ramsey's principles and really making this work for your family all comes down to what you are willing to do and what you're willing to sacrifice and how you're willing to hold your own feet and the feet of your family to the fire when things get tough. So let's get started with the tips that I have to share with you guys. Number 1 is to find a Dave Ramsey resource that you can utilize. For us, this was a couple of different things. The first one was the Total Money Makeover book, which we both read. I read it through first, and then my husband and I read it together so that we could understand the principles and understand what it was that really needed to change in our lives in order to change our mindset, in order to change our family. It wasn't just a matter of setting a budget. It wasn't just a matter of making larger payments to our credit card bills. It was truly needing to be an entire lifestyle and mindset shift in order to create a healthy financial future moving forward. So reading that book together really helped to solidify that we needed to create a plan and a future forecast and know that this wasn't just temporary. It wasn't just, oh, I don't want to pay my Macy's card anymore. It was really, no, we want to be able to create the family and the lifestyle that we want to create. We don't want to be forced into the specific mold or have to do things one specific way because of a hindrance in our finances. So once we understood that and really had that down in our spirit and were excited and ready to do that, we were able to move forward and continue utilizing that resource and find motivation in that as we went on in our journey. Another resource that I highly recommend is Dave Ramsey's podcast. I listen to this while I'm at work pretty much. It used to be literally like all day, every day I would listen to like the same podcast show like 3 times a day throughout my work day, but now I listen to it mainly in the afternoons when the new show comes out. I listen to it on iHeartRadio, but there are tons of other resources that you can use. You can even watch the show here on YouTube. So I'll have those resources linked below in case you're curious for what those are. But that has really been the biggest help for me. My husband likes to watch the YouTube videos. They're pretty short and sweet, and so he's able to just put one on as he's getting ready for the day, or when he comes home and he's like doing chores, he can just watch one really quickly. And it helps again to just re-solidify the principles that we've already learned and have already started working towards. But it also helps to give you some fresh perspective and to hear fresh stories and fresh inspiration and to get motivated all over again. My favorite part about listening to the podcast is the fact that I get to hear debt-free screams, and I get to hear people from all walks of life, from all types of incomes, from all types of family situations, single and married and divorced and, in college and just out of college and making, $30,000 and making $200,000 all across the board, hearing their different stories and what they went through and the biggest things that they learned. And those help to motivate me. Every time I listen to one, I just get so excited for when we'll be able to do our debt-free scream and when we'll be at that journey and at that point to be able to say, we did this, it's all behind us now, and now we're able to move forward and build financial freedom. So that is tip number 1, is to make sure to find a Dave Ramsey resource that you can rely on and that will help you to stay motivated, even if you're not taking the class. Tip number 2 is to find a good accountability partner. I have shared this many times in past videos, but having someone to keep you accountable is so, so vital. For my husband and I, of course, we have each other, and so if you are married, I highly recommend and encourage and hope and pray that your spouse is on board with this journey with you. I can't even imagine how much more difficult this journey would be without a spouse that's on board. So if you're in that position, I totally feel for you, and I would love to just encourage you however I possibly can. But aside from my spouse, so aside from my husband, another accountability partner that I have and that we have together are my parents. They have been looped in on this journey since day one. My mom especially, I'm extremely close to both of my parents, but my mom especially, she's literally like my best friend. So I am able to go to her and talk to her when I'm struggling with our finances, when I want to buy like a fancy new thing and I'm like, but we're so close to getting this bill paid off, or I know it's not in the budget. I can go to her and she gives me encouragement, she gives me support. I've shared this before, but she even will kind of just, I don't want to say reprimand, but really just remind us of, and remind me especially, what we're trying to do, what our goal is. And I shared recently in a video that I was just kind of expressing some frustration and just wanting to like do different things, and my mom challenged me and she said, what would Dave Ramsey do? And that's the kind of accountability you need, not just someone who's gonna like hold your hand and help you buy that dress that you don't need and that is not part of your budget, but someone who's gonna hold your feet to the fire when things are tough and when you don't feel like doing the budget and when you don't feel like sticking to your cash envelopes and when you want to just throw it all away and say, we'll do this again in a few months and I just want to go play for now. Someone who's gonna hold you accountable is truly so important to this journey, because if you are, even if you're doing this alone, you need someone who is sharing your dreams and your visions and your goals and who understands where you're coming from and why you're making those choices. That's another thing that I hear often on Dave Ramsey's podcast and just throughout his calls are really, he asks people what is the biggest struggle or what was the biggest obstacle? Were there people in your life who weren't supportive, and what did you do? And so it's so important to find people who are going to be supportive, because there are a lot of people who don't understand this journey and who think that you're crazy for wanting to pay off your debt and live really, really minimally and sacrificing so that you can live a better life in the long run. People think that's crazy, especially in this generation and in this time today. It's all about the instant gratification. No, go buy a house now. Go finance that car right now. No, just go put that purse on your credit card. You need it now. It's the perfect season for it. There's going to be all of those voices constantly all around us. So you have to find those people who have your back and are willing to tell you the hard things when you need to hear them. So that's tip number 2, is to find a good accountability partner. Tip number 3 to having success with Dave Ramsey's system without FPU is to give yourself small celebrations, like small milestone celebrations. This is something that they do in Financial Peace University. They share frequently the amount of debt that people have paid off, the amount that they've saved. They share really openly about a lot of different things. And so you have to put yourself in those shoes, because if you were in that class and you paid off a debt, they would be celebrating you. So you have to decide to celebrate you. And however that looks for your family, whether you are doing this with a partner or a significant other, or whether you're doing it by yourself, you have to set up small milestones that will give you celebrations and give you encouragement along the journey, especially if your journey is a longer one. This journey is difficult either way, whether you're paying off debt or saving up for your emergency fund, your baby fund, or your larger one, whether you are putting money away for a house. Anytime during that phase, you are sacrificing. And even beyond, you're sacrificing to pay extra on your mortgage and to put away for college savings for your children, and to do all of these different things, put away for a good retirement for yourself. And there are always going to be opportunities where you can just say, I've had enough with this, and decide to live the same way that everyone else is living. So you have to give yourself small celebrations to keep you motivated and to keep you on track. So for my husband and I, when we do our budget meetings, we like to make a little date out of it. So we will either go grab some ice cream, or we'll just sit and watch a movie together, or we'll do something small, go on a walk, or just, talk about our financial future and our future goals. This past weekend, we actually went and started like house hunting and just kind of getting a feel for things that we like, things that we don't like. And it's really given us motivation and encouragement to continue on our journey and to get to that milestone of getting a house and having a home that we can live in and raise our family in. So give yourself small celebrations that are very inexpensive or free, that will keep you motivated and keep you on track. I do encourage you to do a bigger celebration or a bigger milestone when you hit the end of baby steps. So for instance, at the end of baby step 1, we went out to dinner because we weren't going out to dinner at all during that time of saving that money. At the end of baby step 2, I don't know what we'll do, but I think we're both gonna get like a large kind of like gift or something. And then actually at the end of baby step 3 for us, we'll be going on an amazing vacation, which will also be for our anniversary, but it will just be another big thing that we're looking forward to and that we'll have to celebrate the end of a baby step. Alright guys, and this leads us to our final tip, which is number 4. Tip number 4 is to have frequent dream sessions. Now this does go along a little bit with tip number 3, but tip number 4 is to dream about the next phase of your life, or what you want your life to look like at the end of the process, or at the, when you hit baby step 3B, once you are getting ready to roll into baby step number 4, what do you want your life to look like? Have a dream session about that and have it often. One thing that we like to do is we keep a little board for motivation for when we're paying off our debts. I also keep vision boards and things like that. I keep pictures of what we want to accomplish. I actually did just make recently a little countdown that is in my phone for the day that we'll be debt free, which is really fun. I shared it with my husband when we went on our date on Friday, and we were both like, oh my gosh, like that's really cool to just see it actually all written out, like know the exact month and hour and everything. So really exciting. So I encourage you to have frequent dream sessions. What are you working for? What are you working towards? What are you sacrificing for? You need to know, and you need to keep it at the front of your mind to keep yourself encouraged and motivated in this journey, because honestly, if there are 10 people around you cheering you on, and if you're not cheering yourself on, then you're probably not going to have success. So you have to be your biggest cheerleader and to believe that your dreams are right on the other side of this sacrifice, because they truly are. So guys, those are the 4 tips I have to share with you for how we have had success with Dave Ramsey's principles without attending a Financial Peace University class. I do highly recommend the class. I think they're excellent. We just did one at our church, which we were not able to attend once again. But I highly recommend them. I think that if you're starting this process and you're just needing encouragement and someone to come alongside you and a group of people to really partner with you in this journey, that I cannot recommend that enough. So I think it's a great resource, but if you find yourself or your family in a situation like we were in, it is still possible to have success without attending that class. It's not a prerequisite. It's not a prerequisite to having success with Dave Ramsey's principles. So hopefully this video has encouraged you. If you have taken Financial Peace University, or if you haven't, I would love to know what your number 1 tip is to having success with Dave Ramsey's principles in your family. Be sure to leave it in the comment below, friends, and I cannot wait to read them. I'll see you very soon. Have a great day and happy Money Monday.